If you're sleeping on this family of products, then it's time to wake up. I'm Chris with Jerry'sOutdoorSports.com, and this is the Stoeger STR-9. Stoeger is known for providing high-quality pistols and shotguns that don't break the bank. And when I reached out to Stoeger to see if they'd provide me with a test unit, they offered me anything in their inventory. So I chose the Stoeger STR-9Rs Combat, because when someone makes an offer like that, you don't choose cloth seats and crank windows. And I already had a base model of my own anyway. Now, when the STR-9 was released in 2019, it came into a market that was lethargic after gorging itself on promises of the next best striker Poly 9 from the mid-2010s, most of which fell flat. So I'm sure there was somebody at Stoeger HQ who was wondering if they had released it too late and missed the market potential, and certainly there was a bean counter wringing their hands and stammering. But the engineers had done their job, and they'd done it well. The Stoeger STR-9 is feature-rich at a great price. The STR-9 family goes all the way from subcompact systems all the way up to full-size systems like the STR-9Rs Combat. Shooting this one is pretty much what you'd expect. Recoil is super manageable with it, and the recoil impulse is kind of in the middle of what you'd expect. The trigger is a flat-faced affair that is very, very Glock-like. In fact, I would love to show you the internals on this because they're so similar, but I won't lest we anger the fickle YouTube gods. The trigger breaks around 4 pounds and is very consistent. It starts off with a 5mm take-up before a pronounced wall, and then 3mm or so before it breaks, followed by 4mm of let-off before the reset that could stand to be a little bit more assertive. The trigger never gets in the way of accuracy, but it could stand to help out a bit more on the journey. If you think the 1911 grip angle is the one and only true gospel, then the STR-9 is going to be one of the many blasphemies out there. The grip angle is slightly greater than that of a 1911 or a Sig, but not nearly as bad as that of a Glock. The STR-9 has finger grooves. Finger grooves suck. They have always sucked, and they always will suck. It took Glock 35 years to learn this lesson, and I really hope Stoeger learns this lesson a lot quicker. As a byproduct of these finger grooves, texturing is limited to where Stoeger deems your fingers should be on the frame and on the modular backstrap. Everywhere else is just slick plastic. That being said, the texturing on the backstrap actually meets the meaty part of your support hand pretty well, but when you start getting on this and going really fast with your splits, you're going to notice it wanting to walk away. I may find someone who is skilled enough with a soldering iron to take advantage of the barren real estate on the grip, but I don't trust myself to do it, nor should I be trusted. We've all seen our fair share of stippling fails, and I don't need to be added to that pile. Reliability with the Stoeger was 100%, which really isn't all that surprising anymore. We pretty much cracked the code on how to make a drop-dead reliable striker system. And there's not enough fancy stuff going on with the STR-9 to imperil any of that. Though with the threaded muzzle on the STR-9Rs Combat, I will be putting a suppressor on here at some point. And you could put a compensator on there if you're into that sort of thing. magazine release is reversible, and that is where any love for the lefties ends. The mag release is smaller than I would like, but it's easily accessible and not difficult to activate. The slide release is extended to the rear a bit and flat against the frame with meaningless grooves that serve no appreciable purpose. I found my grip pressing on it during a 2-gun competition and not getting slide locked. A bit of work adjusting my grip may have helped with this, but the middle of a competition is not the place to be changing a practiced grip style. On my personal STR-9, I'm considering some Dremel smithing to reduce the excess that doesn't really do anything for me anyway. The STR has one of the best optics mounting solutions. It comes with 4 different plates out of the box, and an EOTech E-Flex fit right onto it with no problems at all. And pretty much any other footprint will work just fine. The magwell is a really nice touch, but with it you're married to the magazines with the attached aluminum base plate. These aluminum base plates are rock solid, and you'll have an overwhelming sense that you can pistol whip your way through an entire John Wick movie with these things. And you get an extra 5 rounds out of them in places where you're allowed to. Though getting the last round in these guys is no slight task, and you might want to keep the provided loading tool around like I didn't. The cocking serrations are deep and wide, so getting a good purchase isn't a struggle in the slightest. The leading edge of the serration is angled slightly for user comfort, and while I would prefer a right angle here, in practice I never stuttered when I was operating the slide.
Hey, finish, show me clear. You are clear. Hammer down. Hand holster.
The STR-9Rs Combat also comes with this holster packed in. It's one of those mold injected paddle holster things, and it is absolute trash. I tried to run it at a 2-gun competition where the stage that I was shooting actually got stopped by one of the best ROs I have ever known. The holster had actually worked its way out and was walking its way off my belt. I still got a reshoot, but these are absolute junk. Stop putting these in with your guns. This is just plastic waste that is going to float around the ocean until it ends up in the nose of a sea turtle. Stop it.
Stop. Go ahead and show me clear. And you're going to get a reshoot.
Stoeger is a company that I've come to expect a lot from. They dispense with the ancillary frills that other companies chase so hard. They focus on just the core system and leave the gimmick creation to other people. And this STR-9 is proof of that philosophy. There's no committee trying to shoehorn extra features onto them, and no idiot marketing person trying to figure out what the next market fad will be. Just solid choices by a team of engineers who achieved what they set out to do, to create a solid, reliable, low-cost system. And while yes, I would love for finger grooves to die a quick death, and they need to pump the texturing on this thing way up, and I'd like for the trigger to be a little bit more crisp, there's still nothing to stop you from using the STR-9 well and enjoying it every step along the way. And with the features that you get at the price point that they come at, you just absolutely cannot ignore the STR-9 family. Anyway, I'm Chris with Jerry'sOutdoorSports.com, and I'll see you next time.